Hey everybody, it's part 7 of Unit in-Depth Assassins, and this is a conclusion video. We went over all the assassins, temples, and the death cult assassins in the previous videos. Told you all their special rules, war gear, stat line, point costs, and a little bit of how I would use them, or just generic uses in general. So let's just wrap everything up. Assassins are a fun unit. They're interesting, they're full of fluff and flavor. Does that mean they're ineffective in tournament play? No. They're not. They are effective in tournament play. You have to build a list to supplement them, and then you have to choose the correct assassin to supplement your list. Now, in pickup games, you can have a couple of different army list builds already, just incorporating different assassins, maybe a different unit here and there, depending on point costs and whatnot. At tournament, you don't have that luxury. You have to pick one army list and stick with it. But if you know your scene, you have an advantage. Like if you know a lot of people in your area like to play things with psychers in them, then Field of Calexis. Or if you know like half like to do that, like a 50-50 mix of psyker and non-psyker, a Calexis is a pretty good bet. If you don't really see psychers around anywhere, except for maybe a couple of lists, I wouldn't use a Calexis. He's cool, and he can still, shoot things with his gun, and use his Solos ability to help supplement other things with combos. But I wouldn't take them at that point. Eversors, Vindicares, they're both really tournament friendly. Vindicare because he has survivability. He's 110 points, yes. But he's going to be in the back, probably amongst the rest of you guys. Somewhere maybe kind of off to the side or in the middle, so he's not going to get hit by a blast template that scatters randomly. But with a 36-inch shot and stealth suit, he will survive longer unless they close the distance. And then you have the rest of your army to back him up, and him back the rest of the army up. So he may not do as many wounds as a Eversor or Calidus or even Calexis may do, but he will survive more turns and has more chances to do wounds because of his range. Now the Eversor is friendly because he's the cheapest assassin at 95 points. Yes, it's expensive, but he has a good stat line as we went over, and good war gear and special rule of Biomeltdown. And you can infiltrate him. So you outflank with him, and you slam into a bunch of juicy targets. With a bunch of attacks, he's going to go to town, win or die, and even if he loses, he blows up in the middle of close combat. If he blows up in the middle of a bunch of regular orc boys with a 6+ save, even though he may have killed, let's say, 5 of them, and then they attack back and they blow him up, now that template is going to get a lot more of them, and there you go. The Calidus is also kind of friendly. Being the most expensive, I don't really put her up there with the Vindicare and Eversors because 120 points is pretty expensive. A word in your ear can be helpful in a tournament. Run things off an objective before the game starts. Force them to move something they don't want to move. We put heavy weapons behind cover so they can't see. Move stuff forward that they don't want forward. Stuff like that. And then her ability to come in anywhere on reserves is great, and then, either kill off an HQ or use her gun to potentially fry a unit or treat on an objective and assault the rest. Interesting stuff. But it's just she's points heavy and stuff like that. Reason why I say I don't put her up there because of the fact she's points heavy is expect your assassins to die. The Vindicare maybe not so much because he's far away. But aside from that, expect the rest of them to die. If they get into close combat to really be effective or close to close combat, they only got 2 wounds and independent. So they'll die of shooting, small arms fire, just like a Space Marine would. Only they have 2 wounds. They have the same strength and toughness as a Space Marine, 1 less save, but it's an invuln, so they can always make it. And with 2 wounds, but 4 wounds means 2 of them are not going to be saved on average, I think. And means they're going to die. So don't get disheartened or upset at that fact. the key is to use them to the best of their ability before they die. Calidus, depending on what you do with their moves, and if you take out an HQ or a troop choice when she first comes in, will have probably made back her points or made her tactically sound in the list. And Eversor will have a little bit harder time, but he can outflank and then charge 12 inches, or use them defensively to steal the charge, and he can make points up there. They all can make their points back. And the reason I'm leaving the Alexis out is because he's very specialized as anti-psyker, so if you don't plan to see a lot of psychers, you're probably not going to see a Alexis around. As far as tactics goes, it really depends with the Vindicare. Obviously, shoot the special weapon, shoot the heavy weapon, shoot the sergeant equivalent. Those three things, obviously. Or shoot the apothecary in the command squad, shoot the medic in the command squad, shoot the Carnifex, shoot the High Tyrant, shoot the trying to think, Zoanthrope if you got range, shoot the Shazwi, shoot, you get the point. He also bypasses shield drones. So that's like that. The rest of the guys for assaulting, assault what you're gonna be able to kill. Just because she has poison blades doesn't mean you should throw a Calidus into a Carnifex. Her Satan Phase Blade is a primary weapon. Throw her into troops, throw her into an HQ. If you can assault the HQ directly, do that. Use a Neural Shredder before you charge. Plan to use a Neural Shredder regardless, or only against the troops with the potential to kill most of them, or all of them, if you're lucky, and depending on their leadership. The Eversor, assault the meatiest, juiciest thing there, assault their troop choices. All of these guys, with the exception of the Calexis, and even with the Calexis, depending on where the Cyphers are, should go after troop choices, in my opinion. They're assassins, so yes, maybe that's not so glamorous, but troop choices are important in 5th edition now. Take out the HQ if you can, because that always hurts an army. Vindicare is probably more suited. The Vindicare and Calidus are pretty much more suited to that, unless the HQ is a Psyker, then the Calexis can go after him. Other than that, if the HQ isn't in range or isn't the best, or if there's something closer and better, make it troops. Force them to redouble on an objective they thought was safe. Force them to double back on your assassin because you're running amok behind their lines. And force them to deal with something instead of that's a minor part of your force, aka one model, then the rest of your force. Force them to spend a turn not going after their objective, not going after you, and stuff like that. In kill point missions, you want to be a little careful because they are worth a kill point. They're just by themselves. They're relatively easy to get if you can shoot them enough. But that's pretty much it. Basic tactics go around, kill the Psyker if it's Calexis, or use the Psyker to beef up your shots to kill off troops. Or assault the Psyker and kill the Psyker. Psykers are chosen for a specific reason. They got all the psychic abilities. A loss of a Psyker is pretty big on an army, even a Space Marine army. Because you took that because of the juicy psychic powers. And once that's done, they turn the Calexis on the troops and any other minor psychics that are there. The rest of them, the Vindicare shoot special weapons, veteran sergeants, and heavy weapons, and sergeant equivalents like Knobs, Shazwis. Calidus should just burn assault HQs or shoot and assault troops, and Eversor should just go after troops in general. Where if there is an HQ by itself, assault it. All of your attacks that you have means you probably will do enough wounds to kill it if they don't, depending on their saves. But yeah, I know I've pretty much, been repeating the same thing, but it really depends on what targets present themselves. Troops, always a good option. So yeah, this is it. This is pretty much it for Units in Depth Assassins. I hope you've enjoyed the ride, and whatever the next video may be, take it easy.